Well, here we go for the final time, ladies and gentlemen, for the final race of the season in Portugal. And let's see who comes out top. And for Day, well, he stays in P7. He had a 5-place grid penalty back in the other lobby in the qualifier session, but it turns out he stays. Maybe because it was his teammate, and this is a team event, so probably why he didn't pick up that 5-place grid penalty. If he wasn't with anybody else, then fair enough, he would have dropped down to 12th, but he stays in P7. So, it's mitigated the damage for them, but let's have a look at the tyre strategy, shall we? Because it is a brand new lobby. Hello Shazoo Steph, hello Maze in the chat. Let's have a look then. I'm on the wrong graphic. Come on, you know how to do this. There we go. So, as you can see, the majority of the drivers have gone for the medium compound tyres. The Dutch Missile, Legend, who was not in the qualifier session, have gone for the softs. And OP Facilio, keep an eye on him in P4. I know, I'm pretty sure most of you know why he's got on the soft compound tyres. This guy, if you watched the other stream a few weeks ago, probably a month ago, he made the soft compound tyres go for 20 laps. Can he do it again here today? And his pace was impeccable as well. Even on the old soft compound tyres, he was still beating the medium runners. So, yeah, he did 20 laps on the softs. Can he do it here again? It's incredible that I said that as well, because none of you probably believe it, but some of you know. But, yeah, 33 laps ahead of us then. And we'll see what happens for the time being. So last time I in Baku, I wasn't here because I was ill. It was FER Esports who picked up the most points. It was 54 for them. Last time in China, it was Outplayed Racing who scored the most points. Who's going to win here? The difference between Outplayed Racing and FER Esports is 29 points. So FER got a lot of their hands as well, considering one of his teammate is down. Where is he? It's Harmon in P17. No, that's not his teammate, Bolan. Does he have a teammate? I'm quite sure. Isma? Yeah, it is Isma. So Isma down in P12's got a lot of work as the RP driver. We know he's a quick driver, Isma. But can he perform here tonight as well? 33 laps ahead of us. We'll see what happens as all the drivers that start to line up on the grid. I expect a very long strategy indeed from all the drivers except 3 of them. Because all those 3 will dive in the pit lane very much more earlier than these guys who are on the mediums. So Legend and the Dutch Missile, the same strategy as each other. They need a good start. They need to make up as many places as they can to try and mitigate the damage, as they were P16 and P18. But here we go then for the race for the final time this season for round 8 of the Portuguese Grand Prix. And we're about to see the lights out very shortly. And we are waiting for round 8, the final race of the season. Looks like an even start for the top 2. Jerry V. Bussell got a better start. He's under threat from the Alfa Romeo in P3. Facilio going to go around the outside, but he goes off the track and has to give the place back. And Bolan remains in second place. As you can see, Leo tries to look for a way through down at turn number 3 there, but can't quite make it. As they all remain in formation then. Facilio right behind Bolan then. He's on the soft compound tyres. He needs to make up the places. And he tries to go around the outside into turn number 5. Has he got the grip? He should do, but gets squeezed off the track there. Does Facilio as Bolan then claims his racing line. And for the time being, he remains in P3 then as we get the graphics back on board. Further down the field, we've got Juan and Isma fighting for P11 and P12. So they're both ghosted as well, now they're solid. So Isma then made it 1 place. The Dutch Missile is in P16. And look at Legend, who's made his way to P9. He's going to go down the inside then on the Betrix High, and he goes into P8. So P16 to P8 in 1 lap for Legend, capitalising on those soft compound tyres, and his strategy will pay dividends for him if he continues like that. But FX Pro has gone for a spin and taken the advertising board out with him too. Unfortunately, the AlphaTauri is struggling down in P18. But we're going on to lap 2 now as Jerry V. Bussell continues to lead ahead of Bolan. OP Facilio will be looking to make a way through as quickly as he can on those soft compound tyres before the mediums start to come into play. As there we go then, Facilio's going to go down the inside into T1, and he got the move stick. He stays on the track as well, as he went off the track last time on the first lap there. So his next target, Jerry V. Bussell, how difficult is it for him to overtake him going into turn number 5? I don't think he'll beat this lap. He's not close enough, but he is using the ERS as you expect in these stages. And Legend is right behind for Den, the Alfa Romeo. He's going to go around the outside. Can he make the move? He'll try to. He'll have better traction around the outside as well. And they go side by side. They're coming out the corner as they both apply the ERS to out-drag themselves going into turn number 7 and turn 8. They're still side by side, but want to get it done before the corner. There we go then, as it's a tricky corner, easy to spin as well, especially when you're in a acute angle there. It's very easy to drop the back end. Even Jerry V. Bussell that has been overtaken in a non-conventional overtake. And OP Facilio has gone for the move then on lap 2. He's leading the race. Now he needs to pull away from Jerry V. Bustle and the company behind him too, as the Warp is fighting with Isma. Isma's fallen back into P11, but he's trying to make his way past the Williams drivers. They go side by side, going into turn 13. Keep an eye on Legend. He's going to go for a switchback. It's Isma, but he tucks him right behind, ready to outdrag him on the straight then. And Legend making big progress. His teammate, however, on the other side of the spectrum, and he's down in P17 there, unfortunately for him, so didn't make the use of the soft compound tyres. DRS is now enabled. Legend then, second place to overtake. Well, second move there it's been in this race from both Facilio and Legend then, so turn 1 proof of handy for those two. It's Isma and the Walk go side by side, but he gets ball. Isma's off the track there, and they both make contact for the second time, and the Walk comes out worst of it. And Isma falls down back into P12. Is that his teammate? Yes, it is as well. No, it's not. Both different colours. As he goes back down the inside into turn number 5 there, trying to make reclaims for lost ground. And as you can see, their wheel spin as on the inside line. Not getting. Oh, he touches with the Williams driver Harm. And Harm then remains. In fact, he's going to go back down the inside, but not a place you want to overtake, especially on the inside of that corner. And now he's going to go 3 wide as the Aston Martin joins in the fight there. Isma gets past Harm, and there comes Joey around the outside. He's taking 2 places in 1. You can see Juan going off the track there, coming towards turn number 9. But Joey then takes advantage of both of them while they're both squabbled down at turn number 9, I believe it was. But yeah. Turn number 8, sorry, but it cost him a load of time, and unfortunately therefore the Warp down to P17 might have front wing damage too. I'm not quite sure if he hit the wall when he made contact with Isma, but the DRS then helping Legend. Jensen is in DRS range of Leo as well, as he continues to put pressure on him then. So Jerry V. Bustle, despite being on the medium compound tyres, is sticking with Facilio. Facilio has maybe running out of options here, because Jerry V. Bustle has a substantial amount of EOS, unlike Facilio. So Facilio will be struggling, and therefore can't pull away like he would have wanted. Here comes Legend down the inside into turn 5 then, and let's see if he can get a better exit. The Aston Martin with the outside line on the power immediately, whereas Legend takes some time to build up there. But Jensen then stays in P5. Good defensive move there from the Aston Martin. Want to see what happened to the Dutch missile in P16. Has he got front wing damage? Because he expects him to make some progress, but he's not. He's struggling down there. As here comes Legend down the inside of Jensen, and in an unconventional overtaking spot has done it. So nice move there from Legend. I think Facilio did the same on Jerry V. Bustle. So got to give it to Legend from P16 to P5 already for 4 laps as well. So incredible stuff here from the McLaren driver, the Dutchman. I know Rudy will be watching on Legend. They'll be very happy indeed. And he might make another overtake before turn number 1. I don't think Leo is using the EOS. He's not using the EOS, so he knows that Legend's going for a shorter strategy, and therefore doesn't want to fight him on the soft compound tyres. So he's sticking to his primary target and just sticking to the back of the DRS train here. As you can see, Bolin then right in the back of Jerry V. Bustle, who's currently putting pressure on Facilio ahead of him. Facilio would dearly love to break out the DRS, but he can't do it, unfortunately for him. Joey has overtaken Juan. Look at this then. All actually going on here in the midfield. Isma has got past Juan, has lost 2 places in 1, and there we go then. 3 wide into turn 5. In fact, Juan backs out of it, and Isma's trying to go around the outside. Can he make it? Uses all the track on the exit. Here comes Juan on Harm, and Harm's got past him. He moves himself up into P12, and Isma has got past Joey then. Joey trying to go back down the inside, and this could be an awkward corner this is, because it's very easy to lose the rear end of the car. The back end just steps out, and Isma stays ahead. So these guys are falling out the DRS train from 10th downwards, and they're in a scrap of their own. So Isma then is the second DRS train, or second group in the DRS train, and the leader of these guys here. And Joey, they're struggling for grip as the car continues to understeer, as Harm then is all over the back of him. But I want to focus on the guys at the front, as Legend then continue to make progress, and his next target is Bolan for 3rd place. You can see Joey's derated. Harm has substantial more amount of EOS in comparison to him, and there he goes then. Easy move for Harm. Joey just needs to focus on saving the EOS, maybe stay behind a few cars for a few laps and try and reclaim some lost battery. But here we go then. Legend might struggle just a little bit, because a DRS train ahead of us. Well, saying that, he did get past Leo Jensen and Axelino for day, but the further up you go, more difficult it is, of course. But we'll see how he manages it. The tyres still should be in good shape. They might be overheated depending how much tyre life or tyre pressure he's putting in those tyres. It's very important to turn tyre pressure down here because it overheats a lot around here. And when it overheats, you just can't help it. As Hahn is the first man to pick up a penalty in this race, the man down in P11 putting pressure on Isma in P10. Those guys spent so much time fighting, unfortunately for them, they're quite far behind the DRS train. Betuxai is currently last in the DRS train in P9. He'll have a hard time trying to get his way through these guys. The further down you are on the DRS train, the much more harder it is, as all of you guys have got DRS ahead of you and there's just no way of overtaking. The only thing you can do is go for the undercut, hope the guys ahead make a mistake, or try and use a lot of ERS to try and put the guys under pressure. But Leo then has dropped out the DRS range. He's still got DRS open, but he needs to find himself back in the DRS train. Maybe use a bit more ERS to try and get himself back there. He's 1.1 seconds behind, so he needs to start pulling out a bit more pace. And look at Legend then climbing all over the back of Boland and trying to put him under massive pressure for P3. Oh, a snapper oversteered there at the top of the hill at turn number 4. But managed to save the car. But yeah, it looks like he's struggling there. Fadey is right behind Axelino. Will he try and make a move? No, he's too far back, unfortunately for him. So Axelino stays in P7. Looks like Fadey actually got a better exit coming out of turn number 4. And Legend then right up the gearbox of Boland, ever present in the rear view mirrors of the Alpine. But just can't find a way through, unfortunately for him. Those tyres will be giving up the ghost soon. Maybe in about 5 or 6 laps of time, those tyres not go off the cliff, but the mediums then will have better pace, and therefore they'll start to take advantage. For the longer Boland and Jerry keep the soft runners at bay, the better it is for them, because they'll be got on the soft compound tyres, whereas Legend and Facilio will be on the mediums and therefore might be struggling towards the end of the race. But it's just this DRS train Facilio might be struggling with. Once you're in the DRS train, you can't get out of it. Maybe the soft compound tyres. Well, he used a lot of ERS as well. Jerry V. Bussell was actually able to save it, therefore used the advantage against him. The tyre wear maybe coming into the mediums favours. But Legend then crawling all over the back of the Alpine. As we make our way down into turn 4. Still can't find a way past, so this might be it for them, the soft runners. Isma, can he close that 3-second gap? He's 2.9 seconds behind. Betuxai needs to be careful not to drop out that 1 second range of DRS. Otherwise, yeah, he's 1 second outside of DRS, so might need to be careful from the guys behind. It's just in case they don't close in. But on lap 8 then, pit stops will be coming very soon. Everybody started a brand new set of tyres. They could go even longer on the stint if they wanted to. The safety car will play a massive help if it comes out right now towards the soft runners. Legend making big progress. Unfortunately, Rudy could not be there tonight for him. So I think Rudy's last race was back in Baku. I was not there in Baku, unfortunately, due to an illness. I'm still ill, so if I do make mistakes during the race, apologies. I'm still recovering from my illness. But lap 9 then out of 33. You can see Legend then. The options are starting to run out for him. Struggling to get past these guys on the medium compound tyres. It's that DRS train that's probably affected him. Facilio has the same problem, but he has track position, but he just can't pull away like he would have wanted to. Can he do his old trick and try and make his soft goes 20 laps? If he does that, that'll be a miracle. But bearing in mind, these guys in the mediums is not the way he would have wanted it on the soft compound tyres, where these guys would have pitted earlier than him. And as they fresh tyres, these guys will go on the soft compound tyres. So if Facilio does do his old trick, he'll come out with guys on a brand new set of soft tyres right behind him. So he'll be struggling to try and pull away or try and get ahead of them. Looking further behind, Isma is closing on Betuxai. Betuxai has dropped out the DRS range of the day, and now it looks like he's fallen to the back of the hands of Isma, so we're going to watch out for him, as the gap was like 3 seconds, now it's 2 seconds, so he's gaining and gaining is Isma in P10. Betuxai may be struggling just a little bit now outside the DRS range. Once you lose the DRS connection, you'll struggle. You'll be lonely there, you have no ERS as well, you'll have clean air, But you have no support down the straight. The gap's 2.1 now between Betuxai and Fadej, so something must have happened to him. Maybe he's making a little bit of mistake between the tyres, maybe overheated just a little bit down there in P9. Who knows, but he's definitely struggling. Gotta be careful because when Isma comes, we'll have a whole train of cars right behind him too. As you can see, Jerry V Bussell can just choose any moment he wants to overtake Vasily. You don't even have to overtake him because he knows he's going to go in the pit lane soon. Maybe he's just staying behind him to try and save up some EOS, not go for it very early, because it's very hard to save EOS around here. Just biding his time, waiting for the right opportunity. Vasily knows it as well, so he might not be under as much pressure as he thinks he is, but he's definitely derating down the straight. You can see there, just struggling to save any battery. Yeah, the peak performance of the soft compound tyres has come to an end, and now it's going towards the medium runners now. The pendulum swinging towards the medium runners at this stage in the race, as they're able to keep up with the softs early doors. Will pay dividends later on in the race once they switch over to the soft compound tyres, whereas Vasily and Lejen will be on the mediums. 3 of them started on the softs. The Dutch missile, unfortunately for him, not quite sure what happened to him at the start if he made contact with somebody, but currently sat down at P16. His teammate's P4. Maybe it's just the track in general because it is a difficult track. As Jerry V Bussell there almost went to the back of Facilio. Bolan was right behind him too. Probably Facilio's braking earlier so he doesn't go off the track or understay off the track. But here comes Jerry V Bussell. No, he doesn't go down the inside, just waits. Waits and waits. Axelino's right behind Fadej's right behind Axelino, sorry, for the battle for P7. Fadej is absolutely frustrated down there in P8. He's DRS. Oh, he's the back of the DRS, so it's going to be very difficult for him to overtake. Yeah, they both went on different strategies. Maybe that's the reason why Facilio could be on the soft compound tyres. Maybe he just wanted to be on the softs in general. Who knows? But both Alfa Romeos have gone for different strategies. I won't say it's working out so far because one of them was he's leading the race, but in hindsight, probably later towards the race, will get swallowed up by the soft runners because he's not able to pull that gap he would have wanted. But nevertheless, there's still options in this race with the safety car. It's the pit lane and he comes, lap 11 out of 33. 22 laps to do on the medium compound tyres for him. Then as Jerry V Bussell has taken the lead of the race ahead of Bolan. Lejen is in P3. Will Lejen respond towards Facilio's pit stop? Facilio will rejoin, I think, behind the warp in P16 there. I think he will, yes he is. So Facilio will rejoin down in P17. And now his job on the medium compound tyres is to reduce that deficit as much as he can before these guys switch over to the soft compound tyres. And now we'll see when the Gem pits how long is he going to take these softs into the race. Tyre life may not be an issue around here, but tyre temperature is, and the grip around here as well. Bad grip equals bad tyre temperatures and grip. Just you have no pace around here. Setup is very crucial around here. As for Day has gone for a move from Axelino. There he goes then, down the inside. Both on the, you don't really see overtaking there unless on different tyres of course, but they're both on the same tyres. But Fadej has lost a little bit of time. He needs to get himself back in the DRS range, which he has done, so good overtake there from Fadej. Unexpected overtake I must say, but that's one move done without DRS as well. Here we go then, DRS enabled for Bolan. Now that Facilio's out of the way, he might have a hard time saving the DRS. More Jerry V Bussell not having the DRS at the back of another car and saving the battery. So let's see how his battery saving skills are in this race. Bolan now has the advantage. He can do whatever he wants with him in P1. We'll see if he goes for an early move or will he wait later in the race. Probably on the soft compound tyres, probably when he waits. But further down the field, not mentioning these guys much, you can see Pietro is right behind the Haas driver. Not going for a move down the inside. They're currently fighting with Joey, who's in P12, struggling in the Aston Martin it seems. If Shazoo Tom was in the chat, he'd hate my Aston Martin camera angles. Can't do anything about it. I don't think I'll do anything about it now because the F1 2022 game is coming out in about a month's time, so there's no point changing the camera angles, but Tom hates this. And then who we've got? We've got Harm, who's right behind Betuxai. Betuxai is right behind Isma. trying to close the gap towards Axelino. Yeah, the Dutch missile down in P17 is also pitted for a brand new set of mediums. That's Legend. His teammate is in the pit lane then. Let's see if he rejoins ahead of Vasilio, or I think Vasilio might get him there because of the fresher tyres. So he'll rejoin right behind Vasilio. And there he is, comes out the pits then. Let's see where the Dutchman will rejoin. I think Vasilio might jump him. He should definitely do. You can see Vasilio's ERS there just ran out completely. He's just been low all this race. As you can see, there's a massive gap between Legend and Vasilio. They weren't DRS of each other, but that one lap stayed out extra has cost him about 2 or 3 seconds. And now he's quite far behind. Vasilio has got the pure pace tri-close. He's got the ERS advantage for sure, but that only lasts for a few laps. The ERS advantage for Legend. So when will these guys pit? About lap 22, lap 23? I think these guys will pit. Now these guys here, the guys further behind who are stuck in the DRS trade, such as Fede and Axelino, they'll be looking for an undercut. They don't want to be in this DRS trade for any longer. So you might see one of these two pit earlier than the rest of them. Wonder, both Red Bulls there. You can see Boland's sandwiched by both Red Bulls. Will Leo go to the pit lane first, try to undercut Boland, then Jerry V. Bussell headed to the pit lane, but Boland, what they try to do with both Red Bulls in his sights, in his rear view mirrors as well. What games will both Red Bulls play here? We'll see. We know both Red Bulls can work well with each other here. DRS enabled yet again for Boland on the straight, same with Leo, but all stuck in that DRS train behind Jerry V. Bussell. It's just a patient waiting game until we get onto lap 22. The first part of the race is when they settle into a rhythm and follow each other and try to extend the gap by using each other's DRS. But we'll all get excited towards the end, the climax of this race. And let's see, Vasilio 4.9 seconds behind him up, so he's still got some clear air to try and extend that gap as much as he can before these guys switch over to a brand new set of the soft compound tyres, so Vasilio could use that clear air to his advantage. Next cars ahead is Nawab in P14 for him, and the next car ahead of him is Pietro, who's 5 seconds ahead anyway, so yeah, he just needs to overtake Nawab as quickly as he can. And we head on to the straight yet again, lap 16 out of 33. Leo, is he close enough to make a move? You can see him using a little bit of ERS there, getting closer towards Boland. His Boland gets closer towards Jerry V. Bussell. But yeah, again, not going for the move, just biding his time. Jerry V. Bussell has got some good ERS management there, quite sustainable for him. But he made him a slight mistake with that turn 2, going into turn 3 right now, or turn 4 should I say. As Vasilio then, as expected, sets a brand new fastest lap, which goes towards Legend in the McLaren. Oh, Jens has gone wide into turn number 5 and allows Fede to go through into P4. I wonder, was Jensen defending from Fede or was he attacking Leo? I'm not quite sure, but either way, he's misjudged his braking point and he's just been pushed further down in the DRS train. And Fede takes advantage of that, moves himself up into P4. Now, can he apply the pressure towards Leo, Boland and Jerry V. Bussell? I wonder. Can he try and fight these three to try and help his teammate Vasilio, try and gain him more time? Might be even more difficult being in the DRS train. Vasilio's 3 seconds behind Nawab. You can see he's using all the ERS advantages he's got. I think Legend, he is closing on Vasilio. You can see he's got some good ERS management as Legend. So looks like Vasilio is probably struggling with ERS. Maybe he's got a high downforce setup. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, he's definitely struggling on the ERS management. It's been low all this race, and the Gen is closing on him, so the pure pace from the McLaren driver is helping him. It'll be a massive help if we can close that gap down when these guys will pit. But we're going on to the straight yet again. Is Leo close enough to try and make a move on Boland? Legend sets the fastest lap of the race as he continues to put pressure on Vasilio. But if those two are going to fight, Vasilio and Legend, they're going to be careful not to lose too much time, because if they do spend a lot of time scrapping with each other, once these guys make their pit stop, it'll be easy for them to just go past them, as they lost all that time behind each other, fighting with each other. So if Legend's going to go for the overtake, he's got to go for the overtake. But if they spend too much time fighting side by side, then they just cost themselves dearly. So they're going to think about this. Will Facilio let Lejeune go and try and regain some lost battery in order to try and help him towards the end of the race? He definitely knows Lejeune is closing because the gap was 2.6 when he came out of the pit lane. The gap is 1 second, so Lejeune then closing on the Alfa Romeo driver, putting pressure on him. There they are as they're making their way around Portimao, turn 10 and turn 11. Go back on board with the leading pair as we make our way onto the straight, going on to lap 18 out of 33 then. If Leo puts his Red Bull into second place, if he somehow finds a way to second place, I think that's the race done for Bowler because Joey's in the pit lane, so early undercut there from the Aston Martin. But if the Red Bull and Leo finds a way past Bowler, I dare say we have a massive struggle to try and fight these guys as they both work together. You can see they've got some good EOS management as well, as Joey is on the soft compound tyres then. He was in a battle with Girofo, Pedro and Juan in P10. Probably gone for the undercut as well, or probably his middle tyres are suffering. But Lejeune then is right behind Facilio as we go back on board with these two. You can see Facilio still can't save some EOS, so Lejeune is right behind him as we head down into turn 5. I wonder what these two will do. Will they scrap each other? They know that the guys ahead have still got yet to pit to go on the soft compound tyres. They know that the guys on the soft compound tyres will be rapid. So we're going to think about the strategy. Lejeune makes a mistake there, has a little twitch going off the track. Might pick himself up by the warning, unfortunately for him. Got to be careful not to do that more than 2 times, otherwise you'll pick yourself up a penalty. Yes, so wonder which one of these guys will pit then. One of these guys. It's Bolin then. Bolin is going to go to the pit lane. Day is in the pit lane then, so they go for the undercut. I dare say one of the Red Bulls should have gone to the pit lane because Leo might have to stay out 1 more lap extra because Jerry V. Bussell will have the preferred choice of the strategy as he's in the lead. So one of the Red Bulls should have pitted. They could still have their cards, but can Bolin then try do the undercut on both Red Bulls as they stay out for 1 more extra lap? Both of them. One of them would have to stay out 2 laps extra. So here it comes then. Bolin comes out the pit lane with a brand new set of the soft compound tyres. Lejeune and Facilio have gone through as they're right behind each other. 2.8 seconds is the gap between Facilio and Lejeune. Has nice clear air to try and close in and try and take the lead of the race. Can Bolin take the lead off both Red Bulls? It's going to be a mighty in lap from both of them. JV Bussell will probably pit this lap, give his teammate DRS on the straight. But we'll see then which one of the Red Bulls will come in the pit lane. Juan has picked up a penalty and Tefex Pro has retired in the pit lane, so no safety car. If a safety car did come out, I dare say would have benefited the Red Bull, one of them at least, because they both had to double stack. But here we go then, coming onto the straight. Which Red Bull will pit? The Jerry V. Bussell. So Leo then will have DRS as he powers down the straight, and Axelino will pit as well. We're gonna go turn our attention towards Bolin, then we'll keep an eye on him to see if he can do the undercut on Jerry V. Bussell. If he can do the undercut on Jerry V. Bussell, means he can get past Leo and he'll take the lead of the race there by pitting 1 lap extra than both of them. So here he comes then. You can see both cars ahead of him are on the medium compound tyres. Lejeune goes past Facilio up into P8. He go P5 now. He goes. Where is Bolin? There he is then. The Red Bull comes out the pit lane. And Bolin rejoins. For Days goes off the track as he sees the Red Bull come out of the pit lane. And he's lost out to 2 drivers as Jerry V. Bussell there. Day is in the middle, which might be a problem. As he could sit there, try and save some EOS to try and fight Bolin towards later in the race. So I dare say I might have played into the hands of Day. And Bolin is rapidly catching the 2 media runners of Lejeune and Facilio as they both exchange positions then for the net lead of the race. Leo is yet to pit along with Jensen and Girofo as well in P3. This could be interesting for the Alfa Romeo driver. Maybe 1 lap extra has cost Jerry V. Bussell a potential victory. I say that though, there's 30 laps left, it could be anything, but Day has the high ground because he can sit behind Bolin and save some EOS and attack him later, therefore keep Jerry V. Bussell at bay while he's got the DRS. So the Alfa Romeo is in a good position. Jerry V. Bussell is stuck in the DRS train then, so we're approaching the medium runners of Facilio and Lejeune. Bolin has to get past as quickly as he can and cleanly as he can as well of Facilio, as those two did the alternate strategy, but hasn't played out so far. And they're under attack from the soft runners right behind. Leo's about to make his way out the pit lane. Where is he? There he is. As Bowler will try and go around the outside into turn one. It's quite a risky move as it's been so tight into turn one. The nature of this track, the characteristics of this track. But for Facilio, you expect him to pull out of the way now because it is a team event. He needs to pull out of the way of his teammate. Can't afford. Maybe he might get Bowler back. Bowler's too far ahead. So Facilio has to let his teammate through, otherwise he'll be losing him a lot of time. They should make the switch right now while they have the chance. And there they go then. So Facilio pulls to the right hand side. Verde has been let through. And what Facilio could do is keep Joe V Bustle at bay and add even more pain as Leo rejoins right behind Jerry. So yeah, it looks like Facilio can back these two up. And now Verde's Bolin's job is to try and overtake Legend as quickly as he can on this straight, and Verde has to follow through quickly as well, just in case he doesn't lose too much time behind the McLaren. Sorry about the mistakes here, I'm a bit ill. But Joe V Bustle right behind Facilio. He would love to get past the Alfa Romeo as quickly as he possibly can. The Alfa Romeo Facilio will have DRS, but he's lacking ERS. Bolin will make the move on Legend, surely on this straight with the help of DRS. Legend then looks like he's not used the ERS, so here he comes. Bolin will get past him, and Verde will have to get past him as quickly as he can as well. Try not to make contact. He has to choose the right points. But Legend will have the DRS on the straight then, so it might not help Verde's chances going down to turn 5 if Legend does choose to defend. He has to make this move right now so that Bola doesn't pull away. Legend's not making it easy for him, but Verde will go down the inside. Into T5 we go, bit of contact. But Legend's off the track. He stays ahead, does Legend. And not making Verde's life any easier, as Bola is able to pull away these slow speed corners, high speed corners, and therefore build that 1 second gap up. This might play into the hands of Bola now, as the Alfa Romeo Verde hasn't got past Legend. He can use those soft tyres to his advantage, trying to build up that 1 second gap. But Verde then will be ever more so frustrated if he spends any more time behind Legend. Legend did not make that easy despite being on different strategies. But for Dan, if he wants a chance of winning this race, he has to get past Legend. He needs to try and fight Bolan. Bolan with the high ground so far. And Legend's currently out 1 second outside of DRS. Has he got it? I don't think he has. No, he doesn't. So for Dave's chances of overtaking Legend will be easier now that Legend doesn't have DRS. And there he goes then. So 1 lap too late, I dare say, for Day. As JV Bustle then goes down the inside. Oh, we almost lost traction out of turn 1. Did Legend. But JV Bustle, easy move for him, was able to make his way past Legend quickly, much more quicker than Day did. And Leo's turn now. You can see the Aston Martin in the background going off the track. Leo will have a go down the inside if he can into turn number 5. And there he goes. And Facilio would love to get past too. In fact, those two are fighting to work. They have the same strategy. So Legend and Facilio are back together again after being separated by the soft runners. But yeah, so pitting 1 lap extra has benefited Bolan, but will it play into the Red Bull's hands later on in the race? We'll find out. Pitting 1 lap extra has undercutted both Red Bulls. Day is in P2 now. What he needs in this race now is to stick behind the Alpine as much as he can, try and save some ERS up and go for him later in the race. He needs to try and keep JV Bustle behind as well. I think the alternate strategy in general was just too powerful. But Verday's derated on the straight, and here comes JV Bustle. JV Bustle has Verde has DRS as well on Bolan, but looks like JV Bustle straight line speed is much more better than the Alfa Romeo. Is going to go down the inside into turn number 1, and he mitigates the damage between himself and the Alpine there. Looks like the straight line speed of the Alfa Romeos are not helping him whatsoever, as Facilio has been overtaken by Jensen. Back on board with the Red Bull drivers. So that straight line speed from JV Bustle powered past the Alfa Romeo despite him having DRS. Now he could be under pressure from the second Red Bull of Leo, as Isma has made a move on Axelino for P8. Going to be an interesting race between 2 Red Bulls, an Alpine and an Alfa Romeo. Can Jensen try and find his way through? Jensen also has a penalty to his name, so it's going to be unlikely for him to win this race. Apologies about that, ladies and gentlemen, but yeah, this could be an interesting now. 11 laps towards the end of this race. JV Bustle hunted down Bolan. 1 lap extra tyres. Leo has 2 lap extra tyres in comparison to Bolan. Might benefit him towards the later of the race. Once the peak performance starts to drop on that soft compound tyres for Bolan. But here we go then. Leo flies past the Alfa Romeo despite having DRS as well. So both Alfa Romeos there really lacking straight line speed. Maybe they're just running that high downforce setup. So both Red Bulls there, second and third. Bolan was in a Red Bull sandwich before the pit stops, pitted 1 lap extra, 1 lap earlier, sorry, has helped him, boost him into first place, but now he's got a lot to work to do to try and keep these 2 Red Bulls right behind him. It's not going to be easy when you're out there on your own with no help whatsoever, with no DRS support. He knows that both Red Bulls probably go for it on lap 32 or lap 33. He's just going to try and save some of that ERS up, but it's going to be a massive struggle because when you're on your own out there, it is not easy to save ERS on this track. You're just constantly on the throttle, you have no time recovering the lost battery. What's he going to try and do? Maybe he might let Jerry V bustle past to try and take the DRS away from him. Who knows, but it'll be under massive pressure for both of them. Leo will have the freshest tyres out of all of them. Might play handy for him later on in the race. But here we go then, on the straight yet again, lap 26 now at 33. JV Bustle is running low on the ERS. He just might think about staying behind Bolan. And Jensen has got past Legend, then up into P5 he goes, but he's lost a lot of time behind. Ooh, he's made a mistake. He hit that inside curve and off into the gravel he goes, and he's hit the wall. Not the first shot I've seen do that so far. It's just so easy to misjudge that first corner. Yeah, I don't think anybody should give Jensen a hard time there. Joey V Bustle right behind Bolan yet again, but hasn't got past him. It's such a clumsy and easy mistake to do. It's Jensen. More injury to the wound there for him, more salt to the wound, and unfortunately there has been disqualified from this race. Yeah, it's such an easy thing to do. I think that first corner is awkward, but that's what makes the races special. Makes the unique characteristics of this track. I think plenty of people have done it before. Even these drivers have done it before. I've done it plenty of times. Yeah, Jensen shouldn't be too hard on himself. It's an easy mistake to do, unfortunately. Hit that inside curve in turn 1, and he's sent flying off the track there. Jensen has retired from this race. So onto the straight yet again, on board with Joe V Bustle, continuing to put pressure on Bolan ahead of him. Well, I think he might go for it. It's turn the board. Yes, he does that. So the Red Bull takes the lead going into turn 1. And now it's Bolan's turn to save ERS. He has 1 Red Bull in front of him, 1 Red Bull behind. He's back where he started before the pit stops as Bolan. We had Fadey in P2 at one point, but the straight line speed not helping him whatsoever. It's just the setups. As Leo, I thought he would go down the inside, but I thought better of it. And you can see Isma on the back of Facilio. As you can see, they're squirming on the exit of turn 5, fighting for traction. And he's got himself up into P6. So Facilio, Esmer has gained a lot of time, hasn't he, on those soft compound tyres, because he was nowhere near this group before the start of the pit stops. He was outside the DRS range and outside the train, but he's used the benefit of those soft compound tyres to his advantage, and now he's hunting down Legend for P5. But it's getting ever more so interesting between the top 4 here. Jerry V Bustle, Bolan, Leo and Fadey all fighting for the victory of this race. Which one of them will come out on top? And you can see there, Jerry V Bustle has actually pulled a decent gap over Bolan. He's left him in the clutches of his teammate as well. So both Red Bulls here having some really strong pace. And here comes Leo then. Bolan has to weave because he running out of ERS, as Leo's going to go around the outside into turn number 1. Then here we go. Leo goes off the track. Bolan stays ahead. He goes down the inside, but they both make contact. And Bolan defended the inside line there, not allowing his teammate through whatsoever. He knows he can't afford to let the Red Bull through, otherwise that is the race potentially over. Because these Red Bulls are not going to fight amongst themselves, as it is a team event. You can hear my voice going, unfortunately. I'm very apologies about that. Hay fever kicking in. Been ill for quite a few weeks, but I'll try and do my best for you. But yeah, Bolan knows he can't afford to drop behind the Red Bull, otherwise that's his chance to winning this race over. Both Red Bulls have some decent pace. Boland tried everything to stay ahead of the Red Bull there. Hard but fair racing, maybe moved under braking just a little bit, but you can be very careful. If I was Boland, I'd probably do the same thing. I think we all do the same thing in terms of pressure. When you know there's a chance of victory, but you've got to defend from the second car behind you. And look at that, he's left him in the clutches of Fade. Did Leo get full wind damage from the back of Boland's car? I wonder. You can see Fade right behind him, but the Red Bull straight line speed just keeping him ahead. But Fade then looks like he's still got some pace left in those tyres to try and hunt these guys down. Hopefully Leo hasn't got full wind damage. Doesn't look like it from our point of view there. The end plate is not missing. Might have light green damage, but hopefully he can cope with it. As we continue our battle then on to lap 29. This is just intense between these guys. Boland doing everything he can to defend from the Red Bull and Leo. Isma just in the background there in P5, so good recovery from Isma. He did make contact with the warp at the start of the race, but what could he have done if he didn't lose too much time behind those guys squabbling, fighting hard and causing contact? But nevertheless, P5 still a good result for him. The alternate strategy was the best way to go. Like in the USA as well, if you do the alternate strategy in USA, that can definitely leapfrog you ahead of the guys on the soft compound tyres who started on them. But both Alfa Romeos did try something different, but unfortunately for them it hasn't worked out so whatsoever. As we've got 4 laps to go in this race, we go on to lap 30. As Boland's watched his ring moves, he has to attack and defend as Boland. He's doing his best of his job as he can to try and keep these guys behind and obey. And Leo then all over the back of Boland as we make our way down into turn 3. Needs a decent exit into turn 4. Try and get him into turn number 5. The most favourable place to overtake is right behind him. He's got a straight line speed, but Boland defends the inside line. Leo tries to go around the outside. He breaks late, and probably a bit too late, and he goes a bit wide. And Boland stays ahead for the time being, but gets a much better exit. There he goes then, Leo right alongside him into turn 7, into turn 8. And Boland stays ahead for the time being. The more Leo does this, the more the chance of Jerry V. Bussell pulling away and being outside the 1 second range of DRS. And that'll boost Leo's chances even more, because Boland will not have the DRS on the back of Jerry V. Bussell. But Boland doing everything he can. He's suffering from immense pressure, is Boland. If this was me, I'd probably bottle it by now if I was Boland, but he's doing a good job in P2. Just coping with the pressure as much as he can from the Red Bull. Hard racing from these guys, what we love to see, this is what we came for. But Leo, well, yeah, once again, having a good straight line speed on Boland as they continue to derate down the straight. Fade might be interested, you know, because these two might come together, and therefore Fade might find himself on the podium, as Axelino now has overtaken Facilio. So the alternate strategy for those guys unfortunately has not worked. They keep dropping down the order along with the soft runners. Harm's right behind Joey. Might see an overtake between them two soon, but on the battle for P2 here. Boland has gone a bit deep. Will it allow Leo to come through? And you can see there Boland, bit contact. Thankfully they didn't get sent into a wall, because left rear, right front, if it was at the wrong moment, at the wrong time, could have ended in the wall together. I've seen it happen plenty of time. The contact module of this game can be unpredictable, but thankfully these two stayed on the track. Fade will be interested in these two, because he might have an advantage here. Depends if these guys come together. But Boland, if he wins this race, it'll be incredible for him. And Harm stays behind Joey, currently fighting for P9 as they've been struggling throughout the whole race. But here we go, back on board with these guys then. Facilio keeping at the back of Axelino. Axelino putting pressure on Legend ahead of him in P6, but heading on to lap 32, the penultimate lap of this race. Will Boland go for a turn number 1? We'll try to. Yes, we'll go down the inside into turn number 1. He takes it off the Red Bull of Jerry V. Bussell. I thought he'd wait for it at turn number 5, but Leo then going around the outside of his team. But these two can't afford to fight. He needs to back off or make sure they don't make contact, which he doesn't do. So Leo then has the preferred strategy. What's Jerry V. Bussell doing? Is he looking to... he's defending from Fade. That's what he's doing, trying to go around the outside. And Fade stays in P4 then, so both Red Bulls working together because Jeremy Bussell knows that his tyres are 2 laps younger than Boland's. Boland might be a sitting duck on the straight with no DRS this time. We'll have to weave like crazy, but make sure he doesn't weave too much so he doesn't attract the steward's attention, because LRB is sitting right here watching the stream and is in the lobby too. But yeah, LRB is trying to work out the standings, but he can't do because they're all battling for position, so he's going to wait for the end of the race. But Boland then, he needs a decent final corner, he needs a good launch coming at this corner, making sure he has a healthy amount of a gap to try and stay ahead of Leo. Leo then, as you can see, Boland is weaving, well, left trying to break the slipstream. There he is, pulls back to the left hand side. There's only so much Boland could do, as Leo is going to go around the outside into turn number 1. Here we go, contact is made, and Boland is in the spin then. I expect this to happen because the nature of that corner, you have to be fully ahead into turn 1. You can't be side by side into turn 1 like that, unfortunately. You're bound to make contact, and Boland has came out worst of it, as MXL is right behind Legend. Legend goes deep on the brakes, but is Isma going to get a better exit than the McLaren driver as they go side by side then as we head into turn number 7 and turn 8. Legend stays ahead for the time being. Isma looking for a switch back as Boland is fighting with Joey for P8 and P9. There they go then. It's going to be very interesting as Boland tyres might be overheated due to that spin, as he stays ahead of Joey for the time being. I want to keep an eye on Isma, sorry, for P4. He's too far back to make a move on Legend, unless he can out-drag him, of course, on the straight. But it's going to be a Red Bull 1-2, and this is going to definitely impact the championship standings here. This is going to be incredible from these guys. Leo and Joey V. Bussell have done a fantastic job, and Leo makes his way towards the line to win the Portuguese Grand Prix ahead of Joey V. Bussell. Fade finds himself on the podium. Legend in P4, Isma P5, Facilio P6, Axelino P7, and Boland in P8. Joey P9, he'll get out dragged, almost did by Harm. Harm stays in P10. In fact, Giraffe goes P9 due to penalties from Joey and Harm, as the rest make their way towards the line in an old-fashioned way. Juan in P15 and the Dutch Missile. Well, you know what? The Dutch Missile has been struggling throughout the whole race. You're gonna give respect to him because he's done the whole race at the back of the field, and most people would have left in this position struggling throughout the whole race. So, got to give credit there for the Dutch Missile. Not everybody's favourite track, the Portuguese Grand Prix. It can be very difficult. So, you've got to give respect for the Dutch Missile to stay in the session, because I know most people like me, especially, would have left the session, been at the back the whole race, and struggling around this track. So, thank you for the Dutch Missile for staying in the session. But what a race that was! The contact between Boland and Leo. It's just it's just a turn 1 thing. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't think anyone's at fault. It was always going to happen. Spins have always happened there at turn number 1 because it's such a tight corner. I've seen it happen plenty of times. What happened? We saw Lando Norris and Lawrence Stroll, Max Verstappen and Lawrence Stroll as well. You got to be fully ahead before you can. Well, you got to be fully ahead if you're going to overtake and claim the overtake as well. Because if you're side by side, one of you bound to make contact. And unfortunately for Boland, he came off worst of it. But it was the last lap. He gave it everything. He had to do that. He risked it all, and unfortunately, there has cost him a lot of points. So, you might think back at it, thinking maybe he should accept his second or try to do something different. But nevertheless, it was a good race, and both Red Bulls there, they're going to be absolutely happy. Leo and Joey V. Bussell then, P1 and P2 taking the most points away for day on the podium. He'd be hoping if one of those two collided to get himself on the podium. Legend in P4. You've got to give respect for Legend though. Alternate strategy, P16 to P4. That's still a good result for the McLaren driver. Isma P5, Facilio P6, Axelino P7, Boland P8, Giraffe P9, Joey rides off the top 10, and here comes the rest. And we've got 2 retirements, Tefex Pro and Jedson, who got disqualified for going the wrong way. In quotation marks, because I know that you did go the wrong way, it's just the game's way of disqualifying people. I hope you all enjoyed that race. That's the last race of the season. Let's have a look at the championship standings. I'm not be able to figure this out mathematically. Sorry if I Did do the best tonight. I've got a blocked nose, I'm a bit ill as well, so hopefully I did alright for you guys. I think they might be third or second in the championship, I'm not quite sure, but what is it, 54 points you can gain the max? That's going to be like crazy for them. Probably third place in the championship standings. But it's the final race of the season, the Portuguese Grand Prix, and I think that's it for me. Hope you all enjoyed the race, and I know TF, I'll definitely enjoy this race. Talent Factory Esports team will definitely enjoy the race. P1 and P2, good work for both Red Bull drivers there. And I'll see you all whenever, because I think that's it. We don't have no more action between Tier 1 Formula Sim Series, and it's the last race of the season for the Formula Sim Series Champions Cup, powered by Team Shazoo. So that's it. Actually, that's enough action from us. It's been an absolute pleasure commentating. I've always enjoyed it. It's taught me new things as well, as I was able to go on board with the drivers, see what they do in the corners. But that won't matter anymore because we're going on to the new game anyway. But it's been an absolute pleasure commentating for this Championships Cup and the league in general, Formula Sim Series. Hopefully I'll be back for the future. And I'll see you all later. Enjoy yourselves a good night. Have a good weekend as well, and enjoy the back of Grand Prix.